breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on, this light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realize it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love.
Oh, that's right. There I am. There you are. You are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself everything that you desire. I disappeared, but here I come back. Watch me. La, 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 la. There I am. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Thanks for bringing your consciousness to our consciousness. You know, a world in which we all, not think alike, but think similar is a better world. And we think about stuff like each and every one of us are individualizations of that divine power, which you kind of see right behind me. We think that everyone knows and can receive exactly the information they need to live a most fabulous life. And everybody does that in their own way, in kindness and respect for each other, and just love all around, and peace and grace. That's what we believe, and that's all you need to know. So see you later. No, just kidding. So welcome, everyone. This is the New Thought Spiritual Center. I am Reverend Dr. Jay Willick. I'm the senior minister here. I am your host for our Sunday workshop. Together for the next hour, we're going to talk about reorganizing the chaos. That's our talk title for today. That's our lesson for today. Reorganizing the chaos. What does that mean? We'll get to that. You'll see. Let's first talk about what the New Thought Spiritual Center is all about. We have some statements of principles for you to check on. Watch this. This month, our theme is about declarations. We are declaring our best life this month. And every month we also highlight one of those statement of principles. And as you can see right next to me, behind me, is our purpose statement, which is to reveal the divinity in you. That's what we're all about. Let me tip this a little better. There we go. That's what we're all about this week, is revealing the divinity in you. And what does that mean? Well, let me ask you, what does that mean to you? How does that make you feel, revealing the divinity that is within you right now? Do you believe that? Do you believe that the divine is within you right now, working its creative magic to bring forth into your life the experiences that you require, that you desire? Do you believe that? That's what we believe here, that we reveal this divinity in many of our spiritual practices, in everyday life, in self-talk. We reveal that divinity as we allow it to be revealed. We'll talk more about that later in the talk. Let's do a spiritual mind treatment. Do you know what that is? It's an affirmative prayer. So let us affirm together something about this world. Are you ready? Take a deep breath with me through your nose. I'm going to let it out with a sound through our mouth. Just like that, or something similar to that. Do that again. Let's do it again. Hold it in. Hold that life, that love, that godness in you, and let it out through your mouth. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You don't have to. You can put them at a soft focus and let us know together as one that there is one power revealing itself in each and every one of us. We reveal that divine intelligence, that divine love in everything that we think, feel, and do. And so we declare right now and today, forevermore, that we shall reveal the best in us, the most divine in us, that we will skip past anything that gets in the way and know that our path is clear. Our path is clear to everything that we have decided we are requiring in our lives, in our money life, in our love life, in our home life, in our body temple life. We reveal the best because we reveal through the divine that is within us. In this creative mode, to bring our greatest life into form, we stand in great gratitude and appreciation for these words, for these ideas, and for the formation of them into our experiences. As together we say, and so it is, and so it is. So every month that we have 5 weeks, 5 Sundays in a month, I read something from the Science of Mind, excuse me, one second. The Science of Mind textbook. That's where a lot of this philosophy comes from. This is my fancy leather-bound version of that. And we have guests on our 5th Sunday this month, so I'm going to take this Sunday to read a passage from this. And usually what I do is I take the date and I find, a random page in here based on the date. So it is the 7th month. So let's find the 7th chapter here. The 7th chapter is on page 129. So we'll go to 129 of this book. This is a great book. It's a very long book. It's like 600-800 pages long, but it will change your life like I know it has changed so many, or any of Ernest Holmes' books. So we're here on page 129. So that's the 7th, and today is the 17th. So let me count down 7 paragraphs. 17 paragraphs, excuse me. 1, 2, 3. Got to go to the next page. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, another page. 16, 17. There we go. All right. Here we go. Let's read on this random page. Man, meaning mankind, of course, people, reenacts the divine nature on all three planes. He is self-knowing in his conscious mind, creative through his subconscious reactions, and he has a body. He personifies the trinity of being. He is the Son within the Father. The Father is greater than the Son, but the Son has the same life essence as has the Father or parent mind. So that's interesting, because that really goes along with our purpose statement. Now, let's get totally past the whole he, father, son, man stuff. Let's just remove all the gender ideas. This book was written in the late 20s, early 30s. So that's the way people spoke. But we know from all the writings that this is just a way to reference something. It is not definitely a male gender idea. So remove all that, and let's get to the real point of that we are all children of this divinity, of this divine being, this divine energy, this divine intelligence that is everywhere in the universe, on the planet, within you and me right now. And we reveal that. It's so perfect, because I was just talking about that. We reveal that in everything we do, in every person we face. Whoever's speaking, God is speaking, or whatever you want to call that energy. When you are speaking out loud or to yourself in your head, the divine is speaking through you. We are putting into the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, the law of correspondence, whatever you want to call that law, it's all the same. We are putting into that law the ideas and beliefs that we have, and that we are declaring and bringing into our lives. We are bringing that into our lives with every thought we have. Now, it's the accumulation of all those thoughts. One single thought is not going to make or break you, really, unless that single thought is that, what do they say, that 51 percentile of thoughts. And then you are going to flavor your life experience with that thought. So that's so perfect. That page talks about us being and personifying. I want to say personalize, but it's the same thing, personifying that divinity in our lives every day. So that is from The Science of Mind. You can get a copy of that book. It's a big book. Everywhere there actually is, because there was 2 versions of this book. You could probably find a free PDF of the first edition, the original version of this book, which was more of a weekly workshop kind of situation book, kind of similar to my book, The Affirmative Revolution, but we'll talk about that also later. Except for the fact that it's time for us to read our affirmative incantation for the week. Now, I write these every week for those of you who are new. And welcome for those of you who are new, but I write these every week. And the idea for these affirmative incantations is to wake up in the morning and read this sucker. Read it and let it soak in. Give it 2 to 5 minutes of the first moments of your day. And just let it flow in deeply. Let it slowly, and we're doing this, remember, for a whole week, for 7 days. Slowly get into your subconscious. And then again, right before you fall asleep, let this be the thing that goes into your subconscious while you're sleeping. Let this idea, this story fill your mind as you drop into dreamland. Dream about this idea. when we do this repeatedly, it informs our subconscious what our new perspective on life is going to be. And we do this every week. So it's going to pop up in front of me or next to me or somewhere, the affirmative incantation for this week. And I'll read it, and you can read along with me, or you can just listen if you like. My threshold for success is expanding. From bottom to top and back to bottom again, every energy center in my body vibrates at the speed of divine intelligence and love. The creative power of the universe is within me and partners in my awareness and expansion. I understand my worth. I realize my value, declare my deserving. And I am of service to my affluence, influence, and attracting the best in myself and others. My threshold for success has expanded, and I speak into existence my very best. Let that soak in. We all have a threshold for success. In life, our threshold, in truth, I should say, our threshold is infinite. The threshold for success, like the threshold of the universe expanding, there is no threshold, really. We make the threshold. So by doing this affirmative incantation, what you're doing is expanding that threshold of success. And that's success in all kinds of levels, whatever level you want to talk about, whatever level is concerning you right now. We can turn away from the condition and increase our threshold of not having that condition return, to dissipate that condition right now so that it doesn't really affect us. We can do either of those things immediately by expanding our threshold. We can make it so that we don't react to things that might or used to trigger us by expanding that threshold. So by doing this affirmative incantation every day for the next week, you can expand your threshold to increase your success in whatever part of your life you are working on right now, or several parts. It matters not. Do this twice a day for the next week. And there's more. And let me tell you this. You know, I write these things specifically every week, and I have a specific purpose for telling this story. I like to tell a story, and I think that we learn better. I know we learn better. All research has shown that we learn better through stories, and that's why I create these in kind of a story-ish manner, because our mind accepts that easier and deeper. I forgot where I was leading to there, but you get the point. So twice a day, all week, do this. Expand your consciousness, expand your success, expand your threshold. So now it's time for some music, and we're starting our music today with a group called Main Squeeze. I don't know this group, but I love this song, and it's their version of Man in the Mirror, which you'll recognize as a Michael Jackson hit. So here is Main Squeeze with Man in the Mirror. Watch.
in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man store. They follow each other all the way, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have made any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize that there are some with no home, not a nickel alone. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow's deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got nowhere to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah, I'm asking him to change his ways. Better change. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. 'Cause when you close your eyes and you close your mind, that man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na 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 na.
to change.
The main squeeze, man in the mirror. I want to welcome some new people watching us or listening to us, I guess, from the Clubhouse app. So if you have friends in the Clubhouse app, then you can send them to Dr. J's Spiritual Symposium, and they can listen that way as well. Reorganizing the Chaos. That is my talk title for today. And I want to start out with a few statements. First one, change happens. As it says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a time, and a time for every matter under the sun. Number two, change is constant. An old Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, said there is nothing permanent except change. Third one, change can be difficult. Albert Einstein noted the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. And John Maxwell, who is an expert on leadership qualities, says change is inevitable, growth is optional. Next, change is your friend. And as Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. I'm going to repeat that one. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not to fighting the old, but on building the new. As the Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. That's what we're going to talk about today. Reorganizing the chaos of life so that we can turn away from the suffering and work through that chaos. Even use that chaos to build something new. Last week, we talked about raising our threshold. Our threshold to opinion and judgment, our threshold to the suffering from the old stories and junk thinking that we had, that we were given, that we were taught, all the triggers that show up in our lives and the ideas of lack and limitation, of course. Last week, we talked about raising our threshold to not react, but to respond. Not react, respond. To do that, we must change our attitudes and our perspective on things that are outside our control. We must stick to who we are. The individualized energy, intelligence, and love of the universal creative power of God, or whatever label you want to put it, or just the universal creative power. We are an individualized energy, intelligence, and love walking around right here, right now, on this planet at this time. But what about the inevitable change of life around us and change in us? You might ask that. What about that? What about that stuff that's happening around us? What am I going to do about that? Well, in change, most times, there's chaos. And yet out of the chaos comes cosmos, comes order. There's a great quote from Sister Joan Chittister. And she says there is no such thing, there is no such thing as a meaningless moment. Life is a growing thing, going from seed to sapling, always towards its purpose, the shaping of the self into a person of quality, compassion, and joy. But for that to happen, every segment must be faced and cannot be fled. Ecclesiastes, remember I read that at the top. You might remember that from the famous song by the Byrds, to everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. Well, Sister Joan is saying Ecclesiastes, drawing both on reason and on faith, says it is only we ourselves who can complete the dance of life, only by dancing it ourselves. With all our hearts, with all our souls. By its very definition, Ecclesiastes implies life simply demands it of us. And we can clomp around in it like it's mud, or we can dance around it like knowing how in control we really are, because we are revealing the divine that is within us. Anais Nin said, in chaos, there is fertility. The universe was begun in chaos, begun with nothing and just throwing little things in the recipe until planets were created, stars, etc., etc. In manifesting what we decided we require in our life, that comes out of chaos. It's a chaos of different aspects of that requirement, like the colors, the feelings, the tastes, the logic, and the auditory and tactile aspects of that idea, even if it's a thought process idea, a peace of mind kind of idea, even if it's a perspective or a thing, it doesn't matter. Whether it's an idea, a perspective, or a thing that we have decided to declare into our lives. The chaos of this color and this feeling and this idea and this perspective coming together for that experience. That's the reason why we can have it now versus the old stories and BS in our belief system that say we can't, because we are taking that piece of chaos here and there. We're throwing out what we don't want, and we're putting into the recipe, into the bowl, what it is we have decided to have. Mary Shelley said, invention, it must be humbly admitted, does not consist in creating out of a void, but out of chaos. Invention, all creativity, comes out of chaos. The mixture of colors and shapes in the painting. Boom, 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 the chaos, and they mix together, and colors are mixed on the palette and then mixed on the media that the painter is using. The angles, the focal points, where to put the subject in the photograph by the photographer. The notes, the tempos, the dynamics that are chosen in the music that is composed. The words, the grammar, the sentence structure in books and articles. The decisions, the thoughts, the beliefs in the lives we lead and the experiences we bring forth. That is a creative chaos that turns into a cosmos, that turns into order, that turns into the art of living. The universe itself, like I said, it's evolved for over billions of years by this very mechanism of change through chaos. Go look at the new pictures that were released last week from the James W. Webb telescope. Fabulous pictures. You look at that and you can see some chaos, you can see some order, you see some beautiful light. And these are images from millions of miles away. So like I said, the universe itself evolved by billions of years, over billions of years. It's still evolving, it's still expanding by this very mechanism of change through chaos. There was a Nobel Prize-winning Russian-born Belgian theoretical chemist named Ilya Prigogine, and he works in the field of thermodynamics. And he discovered that the amount of randomness or chaos in a system increases as its time in existence continues. For example, a car will turn to rust and fall apart eventually, right? A mountain can get worn down, especially if there's water nearby. Even the expansion of the universe is a movement in the direction of increasing disorder, or what is called entropy. Energy is expanding. Energy is being used. The universal energy is infinite, but it's still there. It's still being used. It still gets put into the system, leaves the system, gets put into the system. Atoms become molecules, then amino acids and proteins and cells, then multicellular life and social systems and planets and so on and so forth. It's a process of increasing order out of chaos. That's the way the universe works. That's the way we work. And even though energy is used and irretrievably lost, really, with every incarnation, as the second law of thermodynamics states, we are in an open system. This is not a closed system like a car. A car is a closed system. It doesn't expand its consciousness, so to speak. So eventually, because of the environment or our lack of doing something against what the environment will do, it will rust. Yes, the mountain will, from wind and rain and other forms of water, rivers trickling through it, waterfalls, etc., will dissipate. But we are in an open system. Our minds are an open system, constantly interacting with our environment and changing and growing and evolving all the time. And we are taking energy all the time. We take that infinite energy from the universe around us in the form of light and heat and the nutrients that we put into our bodies, the air, water, ideas, opinions, judgment. Yeah, we get it from there. Knowledge, as we increase our knowledge or reorganize, re-increase our knowledge, some of which dissipates in our environment. Like carbon dioxide comes out of our body, heat comes out of our body, waste products, various activities that we do, that dissipates some of the energy we have. But we are an open system, so we can reorganize and bring forth more nutrients into our body and mind and increase that energy. We're constantly adjusting our environment, right? We're changing, we're growing, we're healing. We're evolving. We're learning physically, mentally, spiritually. We're creating energy from that infinite universal supply. And Prigoghine's mathematical experiments proved that order emerges not in spite of chaos, but because of it. Like Mary Shelley says, invention is not in spite of chaos, but because of it. Invention brings that chaos to cosmos, to order. Evolution and growth are inherent in these open systems, which is us, our brains, and our universe. We take in the energy and matter from the environment, and then we release some of that energy in the environment, and we constantly and continually feed ourselves. We're feeding the universe and thus feeding ourselves in an infinite chain of energy. That's what he found in his mathematical experiments. It matters not if we're talking about a seed or a highway system, a corporation, or a human being. By interacting, we flow an intimate series of interactions. And this is not a universe of independent things, but rather one of process, change, and evolution. Yes, we are independent. Each and every one of us are individualizations. So we are independent things, but we are part of the universal process, part of the universal change, part of the universe evolving. We make that happen in our experiences, through our experiences. In fact, human beings actually flourish, some more than others, in unstable, fluctuating environments. The more the same old stays around, the more energy is dissipated to maintain its existence. So what I'm saying there is that if we keep too much of the same old, we start to rust, to put it like the car. You start to rust. Growth and expansion decreases, and dis-ease in mind and body starts to increase. And eventually that results in the system, mentally, physically, spiritually, breaking down and ceasing to exist as an organized system, as how you are incarnated right now. Or we can enjoy and dance with the constant movement, the constant chaos of the world. Now, I'm not talking about chaos that's traumatic, although some is. But there's constant movement all around us. The neighbors making noise, the cars zipping past us, the boss in a bad mood, the spouse, the partner in a very good mood, in a very active mood, when you're a little more, I'd like to be solitary and just kind of sit and relax mood. That's a chaos in your world, or can be a chaos in your world. But by dancing with it, by living with it, we are reordering ourselves in a new way and avoiding the death and continuing the rebirth. So we can make that choice. But we can handle the fluctuations. We can handle the fluctuations, the input from the environment that may have overwhelmed the old system, the old idea, the old perspective. That was before you were dipping into your spiritual practice more and more, using the affirmative incantations I write more and more, reading the book that I write, the Affirmation Revolution, more and more. Those change the old thresholds. Those rise the old thresholds, so that the input from the environment that might have overwhelmed the old you, and the old you could have been yesterday, could have been an hour ago, escapes into a higher order. The system, your system, you escape into a higher order by using these spiritual practices. Now, what does all this mean? The human brain is constantly taking in energy and information from the environment, right? Constantly dispersing energy by being awake, doing activities, talking, thinking, etc. And we're able to handle amazing amounts of input from the environment, encountering all kinds of new ideas, stimuli, and events without threat to our health, mentally, physically, or spiritually. But yeah, sometimes, and sometimes too many times, we reach a critical level, which is different for each individual, obviously, and get overwhelmed and become less and less able to deal with the increased input of things, or the moment that doesn't make sense to our perspective on life. And that can bring us, that can bring out our childish drama, our fragile egos, which all of us have in one way or another about one subject or another, or our misplaced priorities tend to pop out. We get triggered. We start reacting instead of responding. When we allow that low threshold to continue, when we allow our mental, physical, and spiritual body to rust, to not flow, to not dance on this journey at this time in this body, revealing the divine. We can reveal the divine in a negative way if we choose to, a negative for ourselves if we choose to. But if you do react, whether it's by self-medicating with a drink, any form of overuse or abuse of drugs, etc., food, etc., or adrenaline rushes. Some people do it by the adrenaline rush. Anything that temporarily masks your feelings. If we do react that way, after you stop yourself, because eventually you will stop yourself, and as your threshold gets higher and higher, you will stop yourself quicker and quicker. from the reaction and get on the other side of the reaction, you know what? It's time to rejoice. No, it's time to rejoice. And if it takes a day right now to get over that reaction, to get over the experience that you put yourself through as from the trigger, okay, rejoice that you ended it. Whether it was your body telling you to end it because you slept for 12 hours or what, but rejoice. Rejoice because now you're on the other side of that reaction. Now you can handle what's going on or went on consciously. It's a moment of truth to rejoice about, not get into shame, blame, or guilt. That just starts the rusting all over again. You want to rust, get into shame, blame, and guilt, and watch your body, your mind, and your spirit start rusting. What you want to do is rejoice, or as psychiatrist Abraham Maslow calls, have the peak experience, which gives you the chance of escaping into a higher order to evolve and grow. This is where psychology and neuroscience and spirituality and mindfulness have a confluence. This combo of input affects the brain so strongly that even a brain resistant to change can be impacted, so that the reactions slowly go away and responses are more prevalent. Through meditation creates these fluctuations in the brain that eventually affect even our deepest and most unconscious resistance, because most of this resistance is unconscious. And meditation starts creating change at a very, very deep level. Like I said, affirmative incantations, they remind the subconscious of the truth that has been pushed away by facts, fear, resistance. Visioning brings forth answers so deep in us that any resistance that might be in our unconscious starts to dissipate, and the divine itself starts to reveal itself and speak through you, for you, as you, with you. Visualizing and envisioning work combine the imagination, inspiration, and the heart, bringing forth an experiential feeling, an experiential imagination, combining to sort of pre-living the experience that you have decided to manifest. With these and other spiritual practices, eventually the brain evolves to a point where it is able to perceive, experience, and be one with the interconnections of the entire universe, so that we can pull from the universe anywhere, here, there, anywhere. Infinite opportunities, infinite ideas, infinite energies. And that allows us to heal the addictive and dysfunctional patterns that are sitting in the subconscious. Yeah, you can do therapy work. There's all kinds of work you can do in psychology, in neuroscience, as well as spiritually, to heal those addictive and dysfunctional patterns and grow into a profound sense of peace and calm. Maybe not every second of every day, but most of the seconds of most of the days. Remember that chaos may precede change, and that's okay. Chaos in your life by means of your current map of reality may show up. It's not able to handle the environment around you sometimes. Yeah, sometimes somebody says something around you. The boss tells you to do something different that you don't usually do, and it bruises your fragile ego maybe, or you just feel lousy about it. You have a personal threshold that can be expanded for what you can handle. But if you handle it consciously, then that trigger will actually lead you to a positive change if you let it, with a new and higher threshold, a new and more highly evolved map of reality that will solve many of the problems that the old map of reality couldn't handle. And eventually the brain evolves to a point where it is able to perceive, experience, and be one with the entire universe, connected to your best self, to your true self, revealing the best divine intelligence, the best divine love. Like in manifesting, you don't need to deal with the how. All you have to do is get out of the way. Here's 5 simple steps. Get out of the way. And this is from Bill Harris's book. And he advises 1, notice and acknowledge that you are in chaos. Okay? So out of chaos, I'm here. It's happening. Fine. Number 2, realize it's happening because your threshold for what you can handle is too low to handle your current environment. Okay, it is. That sucks, but okay. I'm not gonna blame myself. I'm not gonna blame what's happening outside of myself. I'm not gonna be stressed because of him or because I lost my job or because of terrorist attacks. Maybe for a moment. I'm going to realize that's why I'm stressed. I'm stressed because of the terrorist attacks. I'm stressed because of my kids or my parents or my partner or my finances or my health or whatever. So now you realize it. You're happening. You got the clue. You can point to where this stress is coming. And number 3, remember that it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing, something to rejoice because you've seen it. You've consciously taken hold of it. And that means you're able to evolve to the next level where that kind of trigger, that kind of reaction will disappear. And you can just declare, hallelujah, it's time to expand my consciousness and threshold to that type of experience that brings emotional pain. You got to decide, number 4, to let it be okay that this is happening. It sucks temporarily, but I can be okay, will be okay. No, I am okay. And 5, watch with curiosity. Don't resist. Remember, resistance equals pain and equals the continuance of the chaos in one form or another. It may come back around if you resist it, it'll come back around in some other form. I promise you, resistance is pain. So just let it happen. Okay, it happened. It sucks. What am I going to do about it? And I'm going to do it consciously because the conscious mind can override anything the unconscious or subconscious mind is doing. Gabby Bernstein on Twitter this week reminded us to remember you're never alone. You are never alone. Spiritual guidance is always available to you, and you can call on this guidance anytime. Anytime you can reveal that divinity in you and call on it through spiritual practice to answer some of your questions. And let me add that that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every month, every year, every moment. At any age you might be, or race or creed or income bracket or nationality or faith or gender, there is no chaotic event, no idea, no government, no law, no opinion or judgment, no boss, nothing can come between you and the universe except you allowing it. So any chaos that comes along can be reorganized to set our soul free, to embrace with an opening of our heart and awakening, to sow what we have decided to reap, to gather good things and good people around us, to assure the fruits and enjoy the gains of life, to lose and let go that which we believe has held us captive before, and be born again, revealing the divine within again and again and again and again, to laugh, to live, to love, a life of infinite joy, peace, and grace. And thus, not only build it in ourselves, but build a world that reflects all of that love, that light, that beautiful life and wisdom right here, right now, all throughout the world. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Let us place our hands on our hearts and together declare our love offering blessing. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you for your blessed love offerings.
We are on social media. Please follow, like, or comment on, well, all these places. Watch. Did I mention my book? I wrote a book. Here's where you can get it. Our closing broadcast song this week will be Beth Hart singing the Sam Cooke song. I don't know if he wrote it, but it was his hit. A Change Is Gonna Come. So that'll be Beth Hart right at the end of the broadcast in just a few seconds, not minutes, seconds. I want to leave you with a affirmative prayer as you see the credits rolling, and thank, of course, Steve Apperson for producing and directing there in the background, and for all of you joining us. So let us close our eyes if it's comfortable for you and know this together. Change is a-coming. Change is here. And because this one mind that is within the universe, this one powerful, most powerful, ultimate creative power and presence is within us right now, and we reveal this presence in our own special way. Because of that, we know that we can reorganize the chaos that change can bring into a order of what we have decided, what we have declared to have in our experience. We focus on responding with intelligence, wisdom, and love. We focus on declaring what it is we have decided to have. And in that focus, we bring forth the experience that we declare. And we do this here and now with the power of the universe backing us. So with great appreciation and gratitude, I release this word into that law, into that power, knowing that its foundation, its power will bring forth these ideas we have decided to have. As together we say, and so it is. Hallelujah, amen, omen, om, shanti, 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 abracadabra. There it is, my friends. Have a most fabulous week. We'll see you next Sunday for another gathering, another workshop, another symposium. Next week, the Reverends Gary and Barbara Altman will be joining me and you. In peace, love, and grace, blessings to you. Thank you so much. Namaste.
knocking me back.
Change.